to our channel. It's Brittany checking in to give you all a little bit more information about the differences in a independent contractor or 1099 worker and a W-2 employee, and why we utilize independent contractors to perform or to work our contracts. First off, a 1099 worker or independent contractor is a person, is a business, it's a corporation that is tasked to provide good or services under the terms of a contract. So within that contract, you are not going to provide them with any type of employee benefits. You're not going to take out any payroll taxes. You're not going to do anything, not even training. You cannot even train these people to do their job, because when you're bringing these people on, you have an expectation that they are able to perform the duties of this position without any type of training. They have the expertise to complete this job without any type of training. So that's not to say that you cannot provide them with, you can't recommend or recommendations on how they can do it better or to your standard or to your expectations, or in order to fulfill the terms of the contract. You can make recommendations, but you cannot stand over an independent contractor and tell them how the work is to be performed. I kind of think of it in terms of like a builder, a person who builds houses, and how he subcontracts a plumber to come in and run plumbing lines and put down the toilets within the new construction. He's not standing over that plumber and telling that plumber, this is how you put down the toilet. He's not doing that, and nor can he do that with the independent contractor. The builder already has expectations that that plumber knows how to perform that task. Now, if it's a situation where the plumber is not, then that's a whole nother story. But which in most cases, like with people, it's best to outline certain things within your contract, especially when it comes to independent contractors, about specifically about the work to be performed. And we call this pretty much a scope of work, which is what we give our workers. We give them a scope of work. But I'll get into that later. But on the other end of the spectrum is, of course, the W-2 employee, where it's the complete opposite. With a W-2 employee, you are taking out payroll taxes. In most cases, depending upon your business structure, you are providing them with employee benefits, paid time off, sick leave. You are, in most cases, providing them with supervision and training. You are doing those type of things with a W-2 employee. And like I said, we don't go that route for several reasons. The first reason is that it's a little bit more expensive to go that route. When you're dealing with W-2 employees, it's a whole nother set of can of worms that you have to provide. Like, it's a lot of state laws you have to abide by when it comes to the hiring firing process of them. It's a lot of additional like monies to be taken out to cover like payroll taxes when it comes to W-2 employees. To me, it's more of a not so much because it's more expensive, but it's more so because it is more of a liability, to have W-2 employees. On top of the fact that, most of the people who work for us, they're part-time, or, they come in, they do their job, and then they leave. It's not like we're keeping track of the time that they're coming in and out. We're pretty much just giving them a scope of work and saying, this is the scope of work. This is what should be done within your contract that we're giving you. This is the work that we want to be done. Whether the scope of work is nightly, day, whatever it is, this is what we're wanting to be done, and we want it to be done to completion. And then we might mainly do set our stuff that way. With 1099 workers, again, you don't have to take out any type of weekly taxes, or excuse me, not weekly, but payroll taxes on them, anything. But I must say, you have to be careful when it comes to using 1099 workers. A lot of times people think that using independent contractors is just as simple as that, but you have to abide by the employment law as it relates to independent contractors, because what can happen is that if you say somebody's a 1099 worker but you're treating them as a W-2 employee, if something was to happen and they was to sue and they was to find out that you had truly been treating them like an employee, you could be held liable for that. In that, you just could be held liable for that. So it's important that, once again, when you hire 1099 workers, that you, again, with training, that's why it's important that you hire the right people who you trust and who can get the job done without you having to stand over them. Because again, you cannot provide them with training. You're not providing them with any type of paid time off, sick leave, holiday pay. I mean, you're not doing any of that type of stuff. You're just pretty much saying the work that you're performing within this contract, this is what you're being compensated for. This is what you're being paid for. Now, I have researched and I have found that you can give your independent contractor a bonus. You can do that. You can rewrite the terms of a contract. You can do that. So say, for instance, if you have somebody's own that's been working with you for a while, and whereas a situation where you was paying a set amount, but then you see they're doing a great job at the work that they're performing, you can rewrite the terms of the contract to pay them more money. But you cannot say, I'm giving you a pay raise. You can't do that type of stuff. You cannot what else? You cannot even giving them verbal. Well, you can give a warning and saying, like, hey, if you fail to continue to provide the terms of this contract, I have a right to terminate this contract with you. You can do that, but you can't, I'm gonna give you a verbal warning, and you cannot, you have to be careful about that type of stuff, because like I said, when you do that, you begin to cross over from being an independent contractor, where again, it's expected that the independent contractor has expertise to perform that job with no supervision, versus to an employee, right, who you do have to stand over. You do have to tell them how to perform their job. So it's just important that you know the difference in the two. It's important that you know, once again,